Okay, so I'm going to be recording another journal video while I play some video games and unwind. Unfortunately, I did miss last week, and I broke my streak. I think I went I don't know, over 10 weeks in a row of doing journals, but I simply forgot last week. It was in part because I was focused on forming other habits. Like, there were a few things where I was sort of like, well, do I want to just start doing this regularly? And then I just kind of drew a blank on the fact that I was supposed to record a journal because there were like reading before bed was one of them, and I was like, okay, I'm going to read at least a page of this book before bed, and that was kind of on my mind. So it wasn't for the worst reasons, but either way, I forgot to do a journal. I only realized the following day. Didn't even think about it when I went to bed. And only then was I like, oh crap, like I didn't do one. So I figured instead of playing catch up, the moments passed, just get it next week. And that's what we're doing. So I'm playing Crash Team Racing. This is a kind of a good game to just play and chill while I talk about other things that are going on. Something really weird has happened with YouTube lately with my other channel, and that's one of my videos has just been getting a huge spike in views lately. And there's sort of, it can happen to a number of videos, but there's two in particular that always seem to get the attention, if anything. And it's just weird that the one that hasn't in a while, it's just kind of got very, very, very moderate views in a while, has just had an enormous spike to the point where I'm sort of wondering if it's a glitch or something. But there are more comments on the video too, more regular comments. So it's like, okay, this isn't just YouTube's algorithm miscounting something. And it's good. It's not the highest RPM video, but it's brings in extra revenue. It's really weird. And it's great on the one hand, but it's just in a way it's a reminder. It's like, man, I wish I knew what made what like I wish I had more control over this. If it was me, like almost most of the points at which views and revenue have gone up haven't been me consciously doing or saying something and being like, okay, this is happening. Like I've planted the seed, so to speak. I've placed that potential in place, but it just kind of happens on its own. Anyways, if I seem kind of finicky and sort of, I don't know, like I don't like to just scratch my face constantly. I was asleep. Basically, after work, a lot of times I go over my girlfriend's house for a little bit, and one of the shows we mainly put on is Bob's Burgers, which is a pretty great show. And I'll just watch that and lay there for a little bit. She'll go to sleep, and then I'll end up heading off, and I'll I'll go home after that. And this time I fell asleep, and it's because I've been so tired with just working on stuff with the channel and not getting enough sleep. So I woke up and was, basically that's kind of what's going on. I'm not 100% right now, but I figured I would still record something. Tomorrow I've got to get up, finish this other video I've been working on. It's one that I think is going to do good, so I don't want to. I want to make sure there's no errors in it, even if they're little things, because this is one that can get a lot of views, and for a lot of people, it's gonna set the message of the channel. And if you could see on my letterboard back there, that's something I want to start doing, is every week changing it. I said haste make waste, and there was that one video a few weeks back that I felt was performing very well, but it had errors in it, so I it had a sort of a, I don't know what you call it, a sink or swim moment. I'm just like, wow, what should I do with this? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Maybe that's what I was looking for. And I ended up taking the video down, making revisions, and re-uploading it, kind of keeping my integrity, but losing those views. And the new video goes up. Most of the viewers have already seen it, so they're not clicking on it. It hurts it, and I don't want this happening with the next one, especially because I think it can perform really well. So I'm putting in that extra time, even if it means I'm not getting the video out. And fortunately, I've got that other video just doing a lot of work for me in the meantime. So that's what's going on with YouTube. That video will probably go up tomorrow, Tuesday at 6 p.m. ish. And I suppose I should talk about one of the other things that is why I'm not getting certain sorry, there's something in the game I'm just trying to focus on. Basically, why there's another obstacle in the way of getting stuff done on time, and that's it, at my day job. I've entered a program that basically is preparing for management and leadership, and when I have things involved with that, I don't want to be tired and disinterested because I've been doing too much with the channel. So it's right now my hierarchy of priorities is sort of day job, this extra coursework for the management program, and then doing YouTube stuff. I always hate putting YouTube at the back burner, but it is the thing that, if something doesn't come out on time or whatever, the worst thing is, which I suppose isn't good, is you have people being disappointed, or if you promise something, you've maybe hurt your reputation a little bit, but it's not quite the same as at my day job if certain things aren't met. If I was too tired, or, one thing or another didn't go right. If one has to sacrifice for the other, this is how it has to be. And with the management program, that might just be a temporary thing. I'll have to see how it goes when all of that is done. So, I guess with this, I should talk a little bit about my priorities and how I arrange things. I mean, I discussed in previous journals how at least I think I discussed, mind you, I'm very tired right now. I discussed how, I wanted to do programming for a while, and now I'm just sort of like, with the way the economy is, I do not think that's... Basically, will programming jobs come back? Yeah, but it's going to take so much time and or pain, like on a wide national scale. Like some crazy stuff's going to happen to get things reoriented. So it's like, if this were a normal economy, it would be worth it to just keep trudging through and studying. And then when things return to normal, you have a lot of, you've been studying all that time, and you're basically good to go. You're in a better position than everyone else. But because of manipulation going on, and I would say this is with, it's with both administrations. It's with the Cathedral, as the guy I listen to online, puts it. He's basically they're not allowing the market to crash and go through its proper cycles. So it could be a long, and that isn't the only thing. There's also the immigration, the H-1Bs, and however that all works. But basically, there's it could be a very long time before things go back to any semblance of normalcy. And I'm looking at that like, why should I be sitting on my hands all that time when I can make money? You know, I can make money, build my skills, my task management, all this kind of stuff with YouTube. But also at my job, it's like, well, maybe there's a way to do some of the things I want to do as far as pulling in extra income, but also having security and building skills and building a resume, basically showing that I know how to do cool things. Maybe there's a way to do that through my conventional job too, which is just something I hadn't really thought of. That it doesn't necessarily have to be through programming or through doing a side hustle, and that's why I've let it take priority. It's like, okay, this is doing the management program is one of the issues with it is it kind of came out of the blue, and it's just another thing that is kind of stretching me thin. But I know opportunities like this have come up in the past for me, and when I haven't pursued them, I always regret it. I when both me and my brother have worked at like blue collar jobs where we probably could have got into management. We even had people like wanted us to do it, and we just, because of one reason or another, that I could get into another video, some some weird and some just like lazy and pitiful reasons, and some just kind of like weird mindset things, we didn't do it. And with this time basically I just knew I didn't want to do that. But it is, the hard part is I'm doing something else with YouTube where, well, I shouldn't be throwing something else on my plate, but this is this is something that I don't want to pass up on. So it's chaotic right now, but I think it's for the best, and it's just something I wanted to update everyone here on. Anyone who watches these, future me, whoever might be interested. There are some times where I make decisions, and it's not always the best. It's not. There's some, with my YouTube channel. If you watch these updates, you probably noticed a recurring theme of I bite off more than I can chew, and I consistently do that. With doing these sort of three things at once, though, I think I have a better justification for that. As far as YouTube too, my brother, who I work on the channel with, had an interest in sort of doing more stuff, and the way I look at it is if it was sort of just like there are certain conditions where I tell him, yeah, it isn't worth it to do that, but I think the efforts he can put in can really, it won't just be like, okay, now we got more hours in. They can potentially increase the channel's output. I don't know if exponentially is the right word, but by rather than just adding value to the channel, it can sort of multiply value to the channel if he learns these certain things and figures out how to do them, and then we're kind of working in conjunction rather than just purely doing social media stuff or helping me just like surface level stuff, but get actually doing work on a little bit of a deeper level and understanding some of the topics we research, and just doing things to get at things more at a deeper level, and that might be that also kind of crosses over into the management stuff I'm doing at work, where it's like, oh, now I'm kind of managing people in a way. which is just different than time. But as I'm finding, it's really that if you know how to do that well, like you put yourself ahead of people who just have resources and stuff. Because if you think of resources, it's like, well, you have resources, and even if you do like a ton of work, well, you're only limited. But if you can get like two people kind of committed to the same goals, or like a whole group, like now theoretically you have, instead of just you pushing yourself and doing all this, you have someone else with goals aligned with you who is also um, who's basically, you don't always have to manage them directly. They're like the way you do with just finite, not finite, that I'm mixing up my words, like you do with just like in like different resources with this person. They're going off and they're doing all their own things to help you. I mean, the risk, there's risk in that too. It's like people are the most helpful things, but they're also the most dangerous in that, there's there's just more things that can go wrong there too. But it's like, well, is this worth the risk? Do you want to grow past a certain point? Anyways, I think I'll wrap this up here. I do feel like there's something else I wanted to touch on. I might be, at some point I might be moving in with my girlfriend. And I probably could have already, but it's just, I don't know, it's just this weird, like I said, there's these weird mindset things me and my family have had growing up, just kind of part of how we were raised. It's like, I just didn't even think of that. It's like, oh yeah, and I was off on my own in an apartment for a little bit, and when I was doing that, I had more of this free mindset. But since moving back in, I've just, with my dad, I felt more like it's almost like a relapse, and maybe that won't be the case. And I'm sure there's new struggles that would pop up with any kind of changed living arrangement, but it's something I want to consider. But that might be going on. It would mean different backgrounds and these journal videos and stuff. It's a real shame. I've gotten attached to this room again, and I've done some cool things. Like there's things as far as the setup, like the recording side over there, like all that would, maybe not the computer and all that over there, but the padding in the wall, all that would remain. I might want to think about doing something like having a recording setup just over here, but we'll see. There's for the longest time I didn't drink alcohol, and recently I will have it kind of before bed or to wind down, maybe 3 times a week at the very most. And I went to the Sheetz gas station. That's something we have up here in Ohio or in the kind of Midwestern states. And basically, I was trying to buy one, and because I woke up late and then headed home, it was past 1, and the cashier was like, "Yeah, you can't get this right now." And I didn't know that was a thing. And before, it was like I came in on Sunday night, and they were like, "Well, this is Monday, but it still classifies as Sunday, so we can't sell this to you now." That's something I don't know how any of this stuff works. It's like at my job where that's when I see people kind of doing like anything we have to review that has to do with alcohol. It's like learned, because I don't know how any of that works. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here. This hopefully makes up for 2 journal videos, sort of. Sorry, it's so rambly, and but it's whatever. That's the way these videos are. I'm going to finish up my race here and get to sleep and get to more work in the morning, and I should be back here next week.